Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2013 WCS Season 1 Grand Finals, where amazingly, 4GG has come out in first place in Group C, a group that many consider the group of death. SOS now awaits whoever wins this match, the lower bracket match between Hero and Simple.
That's right, an incredible performance by 4GG. Moves on, congratulations to the quarterfinals, which will be played out tomorrow at 10 a.m. local time. But now, it is time to decide who moves on to play against SOS, who has played so far so good. But Symbol and Hero, the two players that got smacked down quite hard in the first games, or first set of games here in Group C.
You know, it reminds me quite a bit of the BattleNet World Championships, where both these players had quite some struggles trying to get through the next stages. Hero, in fact, got wrecked. He got absolutely obliterated by Stefano, and the game looked embarrassing. I remember casting them.
I think we casted them together.
We cast them together. You were my caster. We were embarrassed.
It was bad. It was bad.
Really, really bad. I mean, I say this with no exaggeration as someone who exaggerates a lot, right? But at the same time, we went to that lower bracket match, played brilliantly, then faced Stefano again, and with a dominating performance, eliminated Stefano from BWC. Hero has made these types of comebacks before.
This is probably the biggest comeback of his history in StarCraft 2 if he's able to now beat Symbol and then SOS. Symbol, right here from Team Azubu, hasn't had that much experience recently in televised games against Protoss.
Yeah.
But is still one of the most consistent Zerg players in Korea. Top 8, quarterfinals, semifinals, finalist even in some tournaments. We're about to see who moves on between these two players.
I'm really excited to see some of Symbol's style pan out effectively, because it looked so brilliant on paper, but somehow SOS kept striking with these surgical precision moves that would just eviscerate Symbol. But Symbol still, with this interesting Queen Infestor and into Ultralisk, definitely could be very effective.
All right, let's jump into this best of 3 series. First player to win 2 maps moves on to play SOS. All right, this is the round of 16. Group C, losers match. The loser of this is out and finishes top 16 in the WCS Season 1 finals. Down here, it is, of course, Liquid Hero. A handsome devil.
And needs to be a devil today. Needs to be ruthless and heartless with one of his good buddies. Up in the top left-hand corner from Team Azubu, it is Symbol. And one thing that's a little bit painful about the current Protoss metagame for the Protoss player is that you actually have to be really damn careful if you're going Gateway first. If you're going for Forge first expand, you don't really need to be precise nearly at the degree you do for Gateway first build. I'm not even talking about the strength of the build, just the ease of totally botching it and losing to something stupid. Very, very high. So I would not be surprised to see Hero. Yep, there it is. Pylon at the natural expansion. Nothing wrong with that.
The 3 maps, Belshir, Akalon, and Daybreak. Of course, this first map would have been Symbol's pick. And then it goes over to Hero's pick and then Daybreak the final. But look at their match history. Hero 7 wins over 1. In Korea, every time they played, Heroes won. We are in Korea right now, by the way. In the international scene, 5-1. If this goes the way that if history repeats itself, we are looking at a Hero victory.
And you know, this is looking to be the first game that we've casted today that actually looks the way that PvZ should look, according to Wings of Liberty. The Protoss is early expanding, and Symbol is going pool first.
Yep, pool first. There's the Forge to come down. So Hero's going to look to establish himself on 2 bases pretty fast, and Symbol absolutely will take 3 bases. He's already gone to take a 3rd base. As you can see, it's the furthest away from his main, and he will take that middle base momentarily. And this is the textbook opening from Protoss vs. Zerg, the one that we have seen the most. If you look at all the Protoss vs. Zerg games we've ever seen, this is the most used build, or at least one of the top 2 most builds, with Nexus first, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, but the transitions are going to be the really interesting thing, because the Mothership core timing is still not clearly defined. Yeah, what would be the best timing to get it down? We see a lot of players skipping out on sentries, getting earlier Mothership cores. One of my favorite styles is actually to get the gateway up, go Zealot, Stalker, Mothership core, put on pressure, and take the 3rd base really fast, and go straight into Sky Toss.
Well, we'll see what Hero's going to do. Hero, did you watch his games against Snoot? Not Snoot, sorry, Revival in the finals of WCS?
No.
He used a variety of different styles. Initially, the first 2 games he lost, he actually just made simple mistakes, like we saw in the first series. And if he's able to play like he did in the finals against Revival, he can absolutely turn his entire tournament run around. But Symbol's a tricky one.
Yeah.
He's one of the creative Zerg players. I remember watching him and casting him play back in the day with Total Biscuit. You know, Symbol's one of the guys that he was using Borrowed Banelings early on. He'd be using Overlord drops early on. We'll be using techniques and strategies that isn't the most common. So today, what was it? It was Ultralisk play was kind of the staple of his Zerg versus Protoss. And Heroes had quite some experience against that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the point that you're bringing up about Heroes' history against Revival, because I feel like most, you know, if one Master League player was trying to help his, you know, Diamond League friend, the style that would be advocated builds up to this one big attack, and you have to do that big attack right. It's almost like the whole game builds up to flipping one big coin, and you're trying to make sure it lands heads. But Hero's play is based so much around hundreds of little decisions that he has to make each one properly. So when he actually plays poorly, he makes so many decisions incorrectly so quickly that he just sabotages himself. And that's why we see these just catastrophic falls and these brilliant wins. Hero absolutely has the ability to play magnificently, and I'm really thrilled to see him have had the opportunity to calm down a little bit, recuperate,
Have some thoughts with his team.
Yeah.
For sure on Skype. Hero, you bring up such a good point. Coming into this tournament, in my honest opinion, I'd put Hero top 5, top 3 Protoss in the world. But he has to prove it at this tournament. There's this proving ground is this tournament. Sure, he won WCS America, but the skill difference between winning in America and winning in Korea is astronomically different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so far, we do have, Symbol's focused very heavily on drone production. Only just, 15 seconds ago, taken gas. So he will get Zergling Spear, will get Roach Warrior in, and just play a normal, older style of Zerg play. No aggressive units for the time being. On the other hand, Hero has gone Stargate, and also, more importantly, has thrown down a +1 attack upgrade.
Like it, very standard. I like what Symbol's doing too, particularly with the placement of his 2 refineries at the 3rd base. The 3rd base is the easiest to scout, both by ground and air. So if the Zerg walks in there and sees the 2 gas, he has absolutely no idea how many geysers you have.
Yeah. And it could be units, it could be drones.
Yeah.
In this case, drones.
I mean, you could have none in the main, you could have none at the expansion, you could have all 6 up. All of them are possible with those 2 there. A couple of drones trying to be Zerglings.
Get back, guys. 10 Zerglings are coming out, though, with a couple of Roaches. So he started his unit production nice and early. We do see 3 gateways coming down here, and there is a pylon launch on the right-hand side of this map. Hero's going for Phoenix and unit aggression on the ground. But there's quite a few Zerglings and Roaches out here. He didn't get an Evolution Chamber early. He kind of neglected his upgrades and decided to build an army. So Symbol has doubled almost his opponent's supply already in this game.
Well, this is only going to be useful if Hero actually does decide to commit to attack. But thanks to that Mothership Core, you can always recall to safety. And I think Hero's going to smartly just pull right on out of here.
And he's got these 2 Stalkers running around. Mothership Core's doing a lot, but upon seeing these Roaches up there, he's going to recall out and does get out with both of them. So yeah, Symbol did make a lot of units. But then again, neither did Hero make a lot himself. And he's getting down a couple of cannons. He didn't really know if unit production's continuing behind this. And he's at 68 supply blocked. Hero making just a simple mistake. Just simple things like missing pylons. But he is about to move out with something that is going to hit Symbol by surprise. He has no anti-air here, Day 9.
Yeah, I think this is a very nicely played moment by Hero. Oh, look at this Hero immediately getting another Cybernetics Core. He knows that there's the potential danger of that. Phoenixes move right on into the 3rd base. See you later, Queen. Many drones are soon to fall.
Void Ray and Immortal being made behind this, but there's a lot of damage going to go down. There's no anti-air at all. Another pylon was lost there by Hero, so he's still stuck at that 78, 76 supply mark, while Symbol's able to move quite far forward in terms of his actual unit counts.
Symbol making, what is that, 6 additional Spore Crawlers? These Overlords are going to fall down one at a time very quickly, and once they've all fallen, that's when Hero's going to begin picking up the drones. More than happy to accept a couple of hits. Nice damage dealt by Hero. At one point, Symbol was doubling the supply. Hero was close that.
Yeah, it's only 20 supply difference now between these 2 players, and Hero was able to do quite a bit of damage with these Phoenixes. Mothership Core is out and has spotted the 4th base. A Void Ray could get a cancel on that. He has one out already, and I think he has a second one. Okay, there's the first, and a second one coming. So if that completes as well, there's no Hydralisk, there's no Queens that can get there. He's going to be able to kill that base. And it may be a straight out kill as well.
Yep. I mean, it looks like it does finish. Oh, Hero getting some free damage. 300 minerals. Not gigantic at this point in time. Significant, but not too much. Mentally, huge blow.
Yeah, huge blow mentally here, but doesn't really do anything to Symbol at this point because he's not looking to use it yet. But I think we're going to see a flurry of Hydralisk maybe. And if you think that 2 Void Rays are now being displayed, it's the perfect, unless he goes for Mutalisk. The Spy just finished up. Okay, Corruptus, neither. But Corruptus in this point, they're not going to be that useful here.
Yeah.
I mean, they're surely going to deal with the Phoenixes for now. But I think Hydralisk may have been a better option there. But of course, Symbol's the pro player, and I'm just the guy talking about it.
I mean, you and I, we're just a pair of Shawns. What do we know?
Exactly.
We're no Symbol. We don't even have that second syllable to boot.
6 Corruptors. He will be able to deal with most of the things, but 13 actually. Wow, that's a lot. So, okay, so with going for Corruptors first, he set himself up defensively against Void Ray and Phoenixes. But what he can do now, I still feel that he should be looking to build Roaches and Hydras together. And with the amount of Corruptors he's had, no matter how many Colossus Zero has, they're going to fall fast, especially with that +1 attack being researched.
Well, looks like we are seeing the extra gateway go down. We're seeing the Twilight Council go down. Must get additional Stalker production, but it's, again, so common to do the Air Colossus combo. So common to go for Stargate plus Colossus for distraction and damage. Good running right there by Hero. Void Ray still being produced by Hero, and you know, Void Rays are really good against Corruptors.
And, you know, just as good against Roaches as well here. So,
yeah.
Ideally it would have been, and the 2 Immortals in there too. I'm not sure that Symbol's actually found out exactly what Hero has, but despite the amount of units that Symbol has and this army supply he has as well, 170 to 126 we can see at the north.
Uh-oh. Hero's got to recognize. He's got to recognize the type of force that's coming at him. Symbol's about to be swinging in with a very, very deadly mix.
Yeah, the Void Rays are going to fall quite fast as well as the Colossus, but there's still 2 Immortals here.
Well, there's really not a lot of Roaches moving along that left flank. The Immortals and basic. Oh, this is the exact engagement that Hero needed. He needed to pick off 2 Corruptors. Nice engagement by Hero. Symbol, though, still is in control with this Roach Corruptor force. Complete map dominance, can get the 4th.
A switch of style here by Symbol. He's increasing the Locust duration. Enduring Locust, I think that upgrade's called. And he's going over to Swarm Hosts.
You know, it's a reasonable choice because of how slow and passive you will just necessarily be if you are going for this type of composition. You're going to be all pinned to the Colossus and the Void Ray.
And Phoenixes do make their way across here. He doesn't really know what's going on, whether it's going up to Hive to get Vipers, whether it's Swarm Hosts. At the moment, Hero's a little bit in the dark.
Yeah.
He does have these Phoenixes to attempt to try and scout around, but, well, DT's coming in. Dark Shrine has been put down. There was 2 Spore Crawls in every base, so I'm not too sure how effective they'll be. And 2 more coming to the 4th base as well. There's the Hallucinated Phoenix. Sees the Hive.
Yeah, but I mean, this Colossus Void Ray force is not really good just by itself to try to move forward and pick something off and move back. It will force the Zerg to all be together, and DT Warp Prism, great way to exploit that. No reason to try to make the Void Ray Colossus army behave in some way that it's not designed to.
All right, well, Hero, I don't think he spotted the Swarm Host yet. Doesn't quite know about them. He will do shortly on this right-hand side. So I'd imagine he'd want to throw down a second robot. Well, these Roaches do pick off the front, but with a recall back, the army does come home to defend. Second Robo does come down, so he wants to start building that Colossus count up to deal with the amount of Swarm Hosts we're going to see in this game.
At this point in time, Hero does have a little bit more muscle, but he doesn't quite have the mix that he needs to engage. He needs things to be able to rip down the Locust. Looks like that War Prism is slowly making its way along the left side. This is a nice engagement for Hero. The Roach army is going to disappear, and suddenly this means that Hero is going to immediately transform into the offensive, aggressive player.
There's going to be 4 DTs in the main base with Zealots being warped in as well. Oh, it's an expensive Warp Prism. Down come the DTs. And get picked up again.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Got to be careful in that circumstance. Hero is playing with fire in this. Oh no. Symbol knows that this force is not really going to be good in any other way except counterattacking. And Hero's decided he's going to swing all the way to the 3rd. The best counter, as Dario said, to Swarm Host is just to never engage them.
Never engage them until the end. Well, he's avoiding it. Remember, he's got the Mothership core to return back, but oh, if it gets focused on, it goes down first. The Mothership's core's gone. Hero needs to win this fight, otherwise he loses everything.
Well, looks like the Void Ray's making short work of the Corruptors thanks to the Stalker and Sentry. Look at those force fields blocking off everything. And now there's the Warp Prism in the main base, being able to add an extra unit. Hero dominating in this game as well.
Yeah, and he's got those forces coming down. He can pick out this natural. He can go into the main base, can force with that ramp too, and we're going to see the insides ripped out from Symbol.
And seriously, this is like watching the first of the Scream movies. Just completely being opened up, turned inside out.
That's what's happening right now, because he's forgotten about this fourth and third and he's just gone straight for the main. The Swarm hosts are coming to defend. More have been launched into the main base, but Hero with that Warp Prism, what an assault! It was do or die here with the Mothership core going down. There was no escape. It was win or lose. And it looks like he's going to be able to pick up this victory against the army. The Hive goes down as well. Well, Hero's PC may not have lasted well as long as...
looks like Hero was worried that it was do or die and decided to pull the plug.
That's exactly what he did. So Hero is in a great position there. Of course, we can always go back into the game and load it and resume. But,
oh my god, that's right.
That's right. It's Heart of the Swarm. You can resume from replay. So in the next couple of minutes, if his PC has turned off, we can just immediately reload back in. But Hero's in a great position. What a decisive strike that was.
I will say, this is the worst feeling in the universe.
It's a blue screen. Look, I can see his glasses. Or is it?
Oh my god.
No, okay. It's a reflection.
Maybe it's just the essence of Hero's shirt.
Reflecting back off the monitor, reflecting that.
You know, I will say for Symbol, this is the worst thing in the universe, and he knows it. That face is preparing itself for the worst thing in the universe. Do you know what that is?
Losing.
No.
What?
It's being seconds from losing, and then having to go through this entire ceremony where they reload the game.
And then lose anyway.
And then you say GG, and then you get to lose.
As these two players on stage, you can see in their soundproof booths here at the WCS season finals. As Hero is about, well, closing in, let's say. Closing in on map number 1 as a victory in this best of 3.
This is, I think, definitely going to be the nail in the coffin for Symbol. I mean, even though it's game number 1, this, if for some reason the game had ended, Symbol had lost, and then Hero's computer had crashed, that would be the opportunity for Symbol to go, okay, cool, got to think back through, got to think back through. But now he's just sitting there waiting. Game starts, GG. Ugh, well, that was stupid. Okay, reload, then play the next game.
I mean, I'm looking at the supply in the game. It's 126 for Symbol to 158 for Hero. He's not massively ahead. He's just destroyed the Hive and 2 bases, though. You know, this pushes him in quite an advantageous position, but it looks like he may lose his army eventually. There's quite a few Swarm hosts around.
Yeah,
but with Hero taking a 4th base at the same time against 2, that's 4 bases for Hero.
Yeah, I mean, he's
just 2 for Symbol.
He can begin force fielding Locust out of the main and then blink down.
Yeah, multiple options here for Hero to choose from as we get ready to kind of load back into this game in a couple of moments.
So, Symbol, what do you think about that transition choice for him to go for the Swarm hosts?
The Swarm host play? I liked it. If you look at it, when you play Roach Hydra, or at least Roaches in this case, because you didn't really build, if any, you have 2 options. It's either you go for Vipers, or you go for Swarm hosts. He chose Swarm hosts. So, I mean, Vipers in this scenario, why do you need Vipers, I guess, when you have so many Corruptors out, which are meant to deal with what the Vipers usually do? So I like the Swarm host play.
I mean, it's kind of interesting, the Swarm hosts, because they're so effective if Protoss continues to defend. But that was the weirdest part about Hero's play, is that Hero just said, oh my god, you're going Swarm hosts, okay, and then he just wiggled his way all the way through up to the natural expansion. Straight just surprised Symbol. Once Swarm hosts are out of position, they'll never get in position. You can't chase things down with Swarm hosts.
Well, that's the problem with Swarm hosts. They're very strong, but they're also very immobile. So if you're able to run around, and like we saw Hero do, basically run around the main bases, which have the most money at, and circumvent the actual Swarm hosts, he found a nice little position to get into.
Yeah, and I think just broadly, Swarm hosts might be one of the worst defensive units in the game. They really cannot cover any base. I mean, if there is exactly one location that you want to defend in game, you can defend it with Swarm hosts. But if you have 2 locations, whoa, one of those has got to go.
Yeah. And Hero just using the mobility of his Colossus Stalker army. Looks like we are going to load from replay though, which is going to be perfect for us.
I think that's one of the great new features. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit hidden because it's designed for tournament play. But if you just right-click on a replay, there's the resume from game, the restore game, recover it. One of those words that begins with R is what it actually says there, but in effect, it's the ability to resume right from where the game ended, and it does it without going into the replay.
Yeah.
It goes straight into the game. So that way you avoid any sort of confusion of being able to see exactly what the other person's up to.
Yeah, and it was something that was missed in Wings of Liberty. There were a lot of tournaments where we were up on stage very much so like this, where this happened. It was like, all right, is it a regame, or did he actually get enough damage done to claim the victory? But with this, it's very easy, you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very easy, and we're jumping straight back into it now.
Yeah, I mean, the game is loading, but it takes a long time to load because it literally updates everything that happened leading up to it. The only things that wind up being missing are the screen hotkeys.
Gonna have to redo them fast in the heat of the battle.
Shift F2, Shift F3. You can actually do it before the game begins because it starts paused. It's really great. I mean, you and I both did the Heart of the Swarm launch events respectively, so I sort of got the chance to see the features in there.
I tried the feature in the Heart of the Swarm launch. It went, I'll say, well. For anyone that watched it, they'll understand what that means. Did work out well. All right, so
in this position, Symbol, I would argue, is in somewhat of an unwinnable situation. He's going to be losing all the production structures in his main base. He's got to decide fast what he wants to keep alive. Doesn't have a hive anymore.
Yep. He doesn't have a lair at all. He's got nothing. He didn't even restart it yet. So, I mean, he's got the option now to slowly get rid of that army, but what does he do from there? Hero has the option to rebuild what he's about to potentially lose. But does Symbol have enough economy, which is the real question, having lost 2 bases, to actually rebuild what he's lost? Because if he doesn't, then obviously he's going to lose this game.
That's a true fact. You know, I think that in weirdly, I feel like in Symbol's position, I was thinking about Nidus Swarm as the game was going down. If you have just those 2 bases at the far right, they're actually quite close to each other, quite easy to defend both those 2. And if you could Nidus to the other side of the map, where the 3rd and 4th of Hero are, those are the critical expansions for Hero. And it's really hard for Hero to both pick off that Nidus network and then come all the way back to the other side of the map. So, I mean, that's a little cutesy. I honestly think that Symbol just needs to pull back and defend hardcore. Oh, and here we are. We're right into the game. This is the exact moment when the hive fell, so we can see a Hydra Den, a Roach Warren, a spawning pool, and the Golden TV Observer getting ready to ask both players if they're ready to